Listen up. You are now listening to News with My Fiancé with DJ Ambush and Morgan Jones.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hello.
Okay.
Thursday?
Yeah. There we are.
Fiancés?
Okay.
We live.
We are.
Not to be confused with last week where we were not here. Apologies.
Sorry, guys.
Some of y'all did know that. Some of y'all didn't. And some of y'all were like, hey, why'd you cut the show short last week? And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. We weren't in the building last week.
But we here today.
We back.
We back.
We back. And we miss y'all.
We missed you so much.
Yeah, man. Didn't mean to leave you alone with all that news last week.
I mean, we really are. I mean, I just realized I don't even have the, my laptop hasn't been working. And Ambush pulled, what do they call it? A Hail Mary or something?
MacGyver.
Ambush pulled a MacGyver. I walked away and came back and my laptop worked. But then because I was all out of sorts, as they say, none of my stuff is up. You know, like I don't have can't see the text messages yet. I'm getting there.
Well, Bob already texted in.
Good morning.
Buenos, ding dong diddly días.
Good morning, Bob. Morning, fiancés. How are we? What's happening? It's do you in fact have an election hangover?
Right? P-Town said, Fiancé, there you are.
Okay.
Sorry, it's just me.
We're getting there.
Fabulous, I hear the magical voices.
Good morning, P-Town.
Back. We back.
We in here?
Gotta get my mouth to work. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, It's what happens when you miss a week.
Yeah.
And you don't do anything on the in-between.
You forget how to talk into a microphone.
Forget how to talk into... oh, wow. Okay,
yeah.
Both of us. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And this is a busy week, too. You got a lot going on. News of My Fiancé today. Minority Retort on Friday. No requests on Sunday. It's a busy week for me to not be with
Have words.
Not have words and, sheesh, man.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Why don't you already? Let's take some time to talk about that. Why won't Ambush get it together already?
Michelle said Thursday, here, existing, unclear. But happy to hear you.
Good morning, Michelle. We're maybe we'll say this. Happy Thursday. We're all doing the best we can.
There it is.
I hope we're doing the best we can.
Everyone. All of us.
Yes. Collectively. It's rough right now, though. I kind of thought that there were some things that I was maybe making a bigger deal of, and I was like, no, Portland continues to vote in a way that makes sense, and then, well, not all of it. Not all of it.
Yeah.
But it's the, leadership that mismanages or misappropriates or misuses or, completely changes our ideas of what we want to get done.
After we so clearly state what we want to get done.
Yeah. And so I thought that the reactionary stuff online was more online and, than in real life.
Yeah.
And it's not as if you don't you gotta do something to get the votes, friends. Right. Can't just be, as we have talked about, cannot just be like I'm better than the other guy, or gal, or person. It cannot be that. And I feel like there was definitely some resting on that tactic, but also wow the dark money.
Oh man,
huh? Wow,
the dark money was super present.
Wowie,
Yeah,
just all of the outside funds. Why do y'all care out there? Why? I'm just gonna. Why is APAC spending so much money over here?
Because they got it. P-Town said, "Nah, it's the moon tonight. Just altogether tired."
Oh,
and you know what?
Needed to hear that.
Is anyone else just having problems just sleeping? Just like,
oh my word! Why are you trying to bring up all of my problems right now?
Getting more than 5 hours or 6 hours. Actually,
LOL. I'm like
night.
6 hours.
I would love a 6 hour night.
That'd be neat.
5 hours, 4 hours is what's typically happening around here. Just, you know, man.
Yeah, it's bad news. It's bad news. I'm struggling. I'm not sleeping, and I'm also not waking. Does that that cover it?
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping, and then the brain just doesn't work when you don't sleep. So I'm awake in the day. I'm awake in the night. At some point, my brain works for like a very small amount of time.
And then it's like, I'm going to go to bed.
And then I fall asleep and wake up, and I'm up, and it's stuck.
Bruh. Rudo says, "Good morning, fiancés." Boy Rudo got himself a job with Portland Parks and Rec.
Oh, get out!
Working the Native Plants Hub, y'all.
Congratulations, Rudo.
Yes. Congrats, Rudo.
What does that mean? I want every deet, and does that mean...
I love Parks and Rec.
Me too.
Those are folks. He said, "Oh yeah, and that election bummed me out."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Rude.
So along with the moon, that was not a great election.
Mm-hmm.
We did not show up and show out the way that was needed.
No. And
low voter turnout is really something else, and I don't. I just don't get it.
Well, I mean, you've definitely spoken about this before. Yeah. And, in the process of bringing me back around to voting, explained, people just disregard the primaries. They disregard anything else at the general election all the time. And it's unfortunate because, people that are disenfranchised with the process, they're often looking at the general election for the reasons why. And I'm sure, the Electoral College and lobbyists and corporations, we understand that completely. But the place where you can really, really make an impact is locally. So to have low voter turnout when it comes to, an election like this with so many local offices were up for a vote, I feel like we got some more work to do. We got some more work to do to get the messaging out to people, to really have them understand. This is where we really need you to show up. If you want to protest come November, and either not vote or vote for someone that really doesn't have a chance, or just uncommitted, that's cool. But for these local elections, man, this is the stuff that really, really impacts your life directly. So we just got to do a better job, I think, of getting that in people's heads, turning things around, turning the tides.
Turning the tides
before the blue wave.
Yeah,
what's happening? Are you gonna surf the blue wave?
Oh boy!
No, you're not surfing the blue wave.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh.
She said, "Who are you? Who could you possibly be talking to?"
I was wondering.
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
No, I get it.
Does the blue wave include the people that are pretending to be Democrats?
Yes.
Because that feels like a wave of that.
Yeah, definitely includes that.
Definitely feels like a wave of the people doing the pretend. Looks like a lot of performances, a lot of pretend, a lot of faux inclusion, if you will.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Lots of, as a person of color, as a person of color and a lifelong Democrat, I'm going to vote for the Republicans because they've got my best interest at heart.
Oh, boy.
Neat. Yeah. So we'll get to that, I guess.
Neat.
I'm just, I hope to not just be screaming into this microphone today.
Well, I don't know if you know this. That's what the people tune in for.
It's not the screaming.
It is. P-Town said. And then, after all that menopause, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the universe really has cooked up. All this trash is Diablo playing in our face.
Listen. Directly in our faces.
Oh. Ay.
Also, I know that menopause is not easy on anybody's bod, but I'm ready to take it on.
Are you?
The alternative is also trash. So, as a sufferer in this moment,
I ain't mad. Yeah. I get it.
Take it, I guess is what I'm saying,
Get it out.
Get it on, do what you got to do.
Yeah. Send it on its way.
So a lot has happened, and we will not be able to go over everything. We have a guest today.
Hello.
We haven't had a guest in quite some time.
Yeah.
We're going to try and do that a little bit more, but this is monumental.
Yeah. This is X-Ray aficionado.
Yes. And gem of a show.
Yeah.
Coming to a close.
Yeah. One Jason Lamb will be joining us today of Minority Retort. Going to be talking about the grand finale.
Woo!
Big show. That's this Friday.
As in tomorrow?
Yeah.
Whoa.
The last Minority Retort. And No Request DJs will be in the building.
That's big. That's big right there.
It's going to be at the Siren. Yeah. It's going to be our first comedy show together.
We're excited to talk to Jason.
Yeah.
About the whole experience.
Absolutely.
And what's gonna happen next?
I was literally about to say that's the question I'm not gonna ask him.
I did a great job by setting you up.
That's what everyone asks. So what are you doing next?
Well, yeah, but if something's coming to a close, you do want people to ask you that. It's when you're in the middle of a project, right?
Right.
And you're
promoting your current
say you're
project.
doing the press for that current project. And someone says, so what's next for you? I just put out the project of my life and I'm here to talk about that. Why are you asking me what's next? It's not even vacation. I'm still at work.
Literally here at work. All right.
Yeah, no, that's different, I think. I think when something comes to a close and there's a reason and, even when the reason is I want to.
Okay.
There's still,
I found a interesting way, I think, anyway, to ask that what's next question.
Oh, well, we'll see it in the
final question. You see it,
yeah. We'll see it later in the show.
Yeah. What else are we talking about today?
Well, we will, in fact, cover some of those election results because that's apparently something we're supposed to do. But also, just a little, Portland getting safe.
That's what we're calling it.
Getting protected.
Secure.
Yes, secure. Thank you. Having just signed a 5-year, $40 million contract with Intercon, is it?
Intercon.
I think the con is in the name. And it's going to go ahead and protect those public spaces.
You're going to see them all over the place.
Going to see them all over. Private security. Because we do, in fact, have 40 mil.
To toss around?
I mean, why not? In national news, we are going to talk about the Atlanta police officer that killed a Lyft driver without provocation. I think just maybe homophobia altogether, or?
Oh, there's another element to it, and I can't wait to do that story.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other one?
Oh, Airman Roger Fortston, the 23-year-old airman down in Florida, he never got the opportunity to stand his ground.
Well, but he was in Florida.
That's where they do it, right?
I think like all the time.
Yeah. No ground standing for him.
This is not news, but it is something I saw this morning, and it was that Kyle Rittenhouse won Life Taker. Posted, or I guess retweeted, quoted, I don't know, whatever, a picture of some indigenous people giving the bird to the founding fathers.
Mount Rushmore.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did see that, yeah.
And the gem that he added was like, don't like it, then leave.
Right.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Right.
If you don't like it, then leave. I want to remind everybody that Kyle Rittenhouse left the city he lived in and went to a different city that he doesn't live in.
Right. And saw something he didn't like.
Because he saw things he didn't like, and with him, he brought a gun and he shot people and killed.
Right.
So, like, definitely the right person to tell you about getting up and leaving.
Right.
Certainly the right person to talk about, indigenous people.
He's quite the mediator.
Certainly knows how to de-escalate.
Yeah.
And mind his business. King of that. Anywho, so that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we jump into the news, though, pretty hot topic.
Sean P. Diddy Combs.
Yeah.
The diddler.
Indeed. The diddler indeed.
The abuser in chief.
Wow. Don't think I saw that one coming.
Trying to think of more.
The abuser in chief. Yeah.
I mean, he is the CEO of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Mans did some reflecting, he said. Okay, so we'll jump into it, yeah?
Yeah.
One Sean Combs at some point, what was that, 2016? I think it was a video, CNN obtained a video from 2016. It is devastatingly graphic and triggering for a lot of people.
It's the type of thing you see in a dramatization on SVU, but it's easier for you to watch it on SVU because these are actors and actresses.
Yeah, that Mariska Hargitay is the executive producer or something. So you're not like, oh, this is actually happening.
Speedweed is writing another banger. And, Dick Wolf has given us, good police. So it's easier to watch
the finest propaganda.
Yeah. It's easier to watch something like that when it's not real. This was anything but easy to watch.
I don't need to describe what happens on that video. I will just say that it's brutal. It is obvious that's not the first time that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Highly doubt it's the last time that happened. Cassie has already alleged that's certainly not the last time that happened. Now, if you'll remember, Cassie Ventura sued Diddy for a multitude of physical and emotional sexual abuse claims.
Mm-hmm.
As I believe that they tried to settle this before, bringing it forward.
He did.
Diddy is a villain, so he said, absolutely not. I will not be extorted. And then she came out with the lawsuit and he was like, oh, LOL, JK, just here, have $30 million. Also, please go away and don't say anything else.
I didn't know you were talking about this stuff. I got it confused with something else. This? Oh, yeah, 30 mils. Come on.
Now, mind you, in giving the 30 mil, or not giving, but, he also said unequivocally, I did not do anything that's being alleged. Not one thing being alleged in this lawsuit. I did not do it.
Yep.
In no way, his lawyer said, in no way is this an admission of guilt. This is just, Hey, man.
And shout out to everybody that believed that. Shout out to everybody that swallowed that. You know, shout out to.
So Diddy says I didn't do any of that stuff. I'm just a very successful man, doing the best I can over here, being taken down by these gold digging women. And what are you gonna do? I'm a billionaire. I'm gonna toss this lady 30 and tell her to leave me alone. Be gone. Be happy. Leave me be. Let me have my peace with my, 100 kids or whatever it is that he pretends he's doing.
Yeah. Brother love.
Indeed. And then this video hits. And I think all his lawyers quit. I don't know. Every advisor said I'm on vacation.
I think his son is his advisor.
Well,
kids.
You know what?
Yeah.
That is the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, is it the same strategy?
Is it the same son that told the FBI,
King Combs?
LOL, you hit the wrong house, you dummies? You didn't even hit the house next door?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Might be his advisor, because Diddy comes out, does a video, and is like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This time I'm sad. I've done some reflecting. I was ashamed and guilty then, and I dealt with it. I did some therapy. I did some rehab. I did some soul searching. And I want to be clear that this was definitely like, I did the things that make you on your way to not doing these things anymore, right?
So they tried to sell us.
But this is after having told us that he didn't do any of those things.
Right.
And I'll be very clear that Diddy knows of the existence of that tape because he paid $50,000 for it to go away from the hotel.
Yep.
Pocket change.
Yeah.
50 grand. Now, did he keep that as a trophy? Why does it still exist? If I'm buying something for $50K that I don't want anybody to know about, the last thing I'm going to do is keep the hard drive or the, flash drive or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Keep it around.
Add it to my database at my home.
Right.
Last thing I'm going to do.
But for whatever reason, he's I am in fact not a Gotham villain.
Yeah.
And so I don't fully understand the diddler.
Yeah.
Or his train of thought.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, that video still existed. And somehow
it got to CNN.
Which, just a reminder that if CNN obtained that is not a TMZ thing. That's not paid for.
Right.
That's not, that is obtained journalistically or was tipped off, leaked, handed over.
Yep.
And Diddy said, hey, I guys, that was bad.
I'm not that person
I'm
anymore.
not that person anymore. And immediately I stopped being that person also. Because, I went to therapy, I went to rehab. And that didn't tell us for what rehab. Was it abusive man rehab? Is that a...
Right.
Fiancés, is that a rehab?
I'm going to be clear. I didn't need the video to believe anything Cassie said.
Oh, no, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Puff has historically been a terrible person. Was I aware of all of the DV and,
to the extent.
No.
Right.
I wasn't aware of all the assault allegations. There were little things you'd heard here and there. But Puff did a very good job of maintaining this persona where he's the tough, nice guy. Or he's like, he's stern. He's really about his business. He's going to talk to you crazy, but he's a nice guy overall. And, he has the tough people around him, but he's the nice guy. He's maintained that personality very, very well. So when things started coming out about him actually being physically violent towards people, I remember my initial response was like, and not specifically to other men. I believe his ability to be physically violent towards women, that was never like
in question.
But just hearing him be physically violent towards other men, I was like, who? Puff daddy? Papa Diddy?
Not Papa
Sean
Diddy.
Combs? What are you talking about? Maybe his bodyguards, maybe one of the rap, like of himself. But apparently, yeah, this guy is horrid, likes to get his hands dirty, and is just a monster. He's just a full monster.
Yeah.
And there's several different debates happening right now, especially for me in the DJ community. People asking if we're going to stop playing bad boy stuff. And I said, listen, bad boy artists just got their publishing back. I don't think we punished the artist by not playing bad boy, but you can stop playing Puff easy. You can not play any of Puff stuff, but yeah,
we're going to talk more about this on Views so we can cuss about it, because there's a lot of
it needs to be cussing about.
Yeah, there's just too much to be said, but I do just want to mention that seeing people not just like make space for domestic violence, make space for assaulting people, make space for abusing power and control and manipulating people. It is the air we breathe. Like, it's been certainly my entire life, I'm sure all of yours. It never gets easy to watch, and it only gets harder as the more experiences you have, the more understanding you have around certain things. Listening to someone who has no idea speak so confidently about, why a person would be in a situation like that, in a domestic violence situation. Why would they be in an abusive relationship? When you're doing that on the internet, we can all see you.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you're a stranger to, 99% of that internet. There's people that in your life, friends, family, acquaintances, potentially employers or collaborators or whatever, out there seeing you advocate for abuse. And you really can't look at it any other way than you advocating for abuse when you say something like, well, she stayed.
Right.
She just wanted money.
Right.
And I really want people to think about that. Is it a job then? Is that how you put it in your mind? Like, this is a job that she has signed up for, and she's being paid to be hit or abused. And so how dare she say anything about it because she signed up for it? Like, is that what we're doing? Mm. And does it not change the way you see someone anymore? There's this continued conversation of being able to separate art from an artist and all of those things. And this is not a new conversation by any stretch.
Nope.
And the reason it's not new is because people have been awful since the beginning, but very specifically rich, powerful men. There's never been a shortage of terroristic, rich, powerful men. And when that's the case, and when that's what we're dealing with, does that not actually change your perception of that person? Does it not change the art that person produces?
Right.
We have talked about this with R. Kelly. And again, we will not, go way too into this. But the moment that you understand he is singing to 14-year-olds, and if your idea is, I loved this music because it makes me remember these great times or these, very specific moments in your life. Mm-hmm. If they are then, for me, immediately tied to the fact that you were never singing to the person you should have, you're singing to children. I can't I can't listen. I can't hear it in the same way.
Changes the content.
I can't hear seems like you're ready in the same way.
No.
It changes the entire deal. So the songs don't even hit for me. No. It doesn't matter how great of a song it was at a point. It doesn't hit anymore. When somebody has been lying to you, their stories don't hit the same, right?
Right.
You're like, wait a minute. I don't know which way to go. Is this true or not?
Right.
Those songs do not do it. Those songs make me feel gross now. And I certainly don't want to hear anything. I mean, I'm not looking for Puff or like I ain't listened to a Diddy album.
Forever.
Yeah. I'm not checking for him. But I certainly don't want to hear this person now calling himself Brother Love, talk about being in love, talk about being kind or considerate or any of those things that you are not. I don't want to hear it. Because at some point, truth has to matter to even your entertainment.
Yeah.
And for me, it just doesn't hit the same. So I'm not even going to like shame anybody. I mean, hey.
We just got different bars. That's all.
That's it. That's it.
I draw my line in the sand in a different place than you do. And that's cool. It's whatever.
But it's a wild thing to do to advocate for it.
Yeah.
It's a wild thing to do for me to like tell people that they are closed-minded if they don't listen to or don't like. As I am not a DJ, but I cannot imagine being a part of that community and fighting with each other about playing, I don't know, the Ignition remix. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what is so what is it that you're like, must hear that R. Kelly song?
Right.
Why do you want to listen after seeing that video of Puffy doing that to Cassie after telling us he unequivocally did not. Let me be clear. Never have, never would. She throwing dirt on my name. After seeing that, what do you want? What Benjamins you want to hear about?
Right. You just need to hear victory.
And you also need to understand that a person who has done that in a hotel in a towel. This ain't the first, this ain't the last, and that's not the worst. That's not close to the worst. That's a public setting. And in his mind, that's a hallway. You don't have the whole top floor situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't a penthouse, fam.
So someone actually spoke to that point. It said, why in that particular hotel? That's not like a 5-star hotel. Why would, that seems kind of odd.
Okay.
That seems kind of odd. And then it was explained that by someone else who has worked with celebrities and musicians and artists of all different types of, shapes and fashions, and especially in the sports world. That sometimes what they'll do is they'll go to a 4-star so they can buy the floor, so they can have the privacy. They won't necessarily do it in the 5, but they'll go to a 4-star for that privacy.
Oh, so maybe
they get the entire floor.
That's wild.
Yeah, put the entourage in the joint in the rooms around them.
Right.
We got the floor locked down.
I mean, and okay.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to go back to the point of like, what does it matter what the hotel is? Mm-hmm. What does it matter if they are in a Motel 6 or the Beverly Wilshire? Like, what does it matter?
Yeah, but to your point of how comfortable he felt in that hallway, it's like, this is all, quite possibly, this is all my abode right now.
Right, but I'm saying it wouldn't matter for
No,
Diddy.
I agree with you.
I'm saying that could have been regular families. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Because the way to handle that is just to handle that. Somebody comes in, knocks on the doors. Mm-hmm. Hey, what do we need to get to you to zip it?
Pipe it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I mean, it's to be that bold and brazen and blind with rage in moments like that. The level of danger of that person, mm-hmm. and anyone who has that kind of abusive demeanor, mm-hmm. like and that much money and power and respect.
Yeah, no pun intended.
No pun intended.
Let me hit this. You're listening to X-Ray FM at KXRY Portland at 91.1 and 107.1 FM, and in Nehalem, Wheeler, Manzanita, and Rockaway Beach at 91.7 FM. Streaming online everywhere at xray.fm. Ooh, hit it. Just got to get it before 8 minutes.
I know. I'm so sorry. Way to go.
I was watching the clock. We got it. Bang.
Probably looking at me like, please be quiet.
No. But yeah, like no pun intended.
It's just, yeah. So I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about the responses we are seeing.
Yeah. Probably
for the rest of my life. And I'm going to be one of those people that, you know, folks are going to be like, oh my, Morgan's bringing up old stuff again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because apparently our brains just cannot keep information in it, and we just can't retain the fact that this person actually did something absolutely awful over and over and over systemically, and then got to like get some time in between it and call that redemption, and that's just not what that is. And you're not going to talk about cancel culture when what should happen to a person who has done that.
Right.
It's not like he's about to go to prison, right? Not that I'm advocating for prison, but it's not like what the society's punishment for that would normally be is going to happen to a billionaire. Not going to happen.
Yep.
And if it does, you know, questionable things happen on top of it.
Right. Yep.
Things don't just get to be straightforward, you know? So I will be continuously talking about that. And I will continuously be talking about the people who find the space for people who are incredibly abusive. There was something you said, Ambush, to me that was like, what does the music have to do with it? And I'm just going to, when we're talking about a musician or a producer or an artist in that way, what does the music have to do with it? Why is that person famous? Why is that person powerful? Why is that person someone you're even thinking of defending beyond
you
wanting to continue to be able to do the same things?
Period.
But you know that person because of music. That's what their music has to do with anything. It's how they become
who they are.
And what does that music say then? You know? What's the music coming out? Is it the complete and total opposite of what that person is? And then what's the lesson there? So the music, the product, whatever it is that has made them a part of the zeitgeist absolutely matters.
Yeah.
And it cannot, for me, be separated.
So yeah, look forward to more of this on Views for sure. Next episode of Views. Just as a final thing before we hop into this music break, I just want everyone to pay attention, and I think we've spoken on this before. Like when a situation like this hit, pay attention to of course, the apologists, pay attention to the defenders, and pay attention to those who stay quiet in your immediate community. For a couple of reasons, because those that stay quiet may actually have dealt with something like this. Also, those who stay quiet could also be quietly defending it and quietly hiding from their own allegations. Like, just be aware of your surroundings when things like this hit and try to assess the way the people in the community are reacting and responding to this. Because, yeah, man, we all got to live together. We all have to exist around each other. And you need to know who is dangerous and who isn't. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Okay. That was heavy before hopping to any news stories. But we're going to hop into this first music break.
Let's do it.
Yeah, a little heavy on the beginning there with all that Diddy talk. We're going to hop into some local news.
Yeah, that's not heavy at all either.
Go over some of these election results. And I'm not going to go over all of them, but I'm going to read off some of the ones that we've been discussing, and have some, immediate concerns for us. Ooh. But you know what? I do want to mention a shout out to one of our littles, DJ Major, had their first opportunity to vote.
Yes.
That was great.
Not so little.
Yeah, not so little. A
whole 18-year-old.
Grown.
That's crazy.
Sheesh.
Yes, that was quite the experience to do not just me and you voting in the home, but had the baby.
Right.
And great to hear their logic on a lot of things too. Like, so the way that we do that, is just like we talk about what the measure is.
Right.
What does this mean? Discovered something about myself that apparently is known by one DJ Ambush, and that is I say things as I am still working on something, So like, yeah, that sounds good. Let me look into this. But apparently in the in-between of, yeah, that sounds good, and let me look into this, that pause is too long.
Mm-hmm. And we start coloring in the bubbles.
They just start voting.
Yeah. It's a group conversation. Morgan is quite often the one doing the research, laptop open, putting up some YouTube videos, stuff like that. Traditionally, that's how it always goes. So we're spending the time, and then it's like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, okay, but wait a minute.
There's more to know.
Wait a minute. We just deliberated. You say, yeah, that sounds good. And okay. And luckily for us, we didn't color in any bubbles ahead of time that we regretted. I've done that in the past, though. And then I was able to caution Kaylin this time. That was funny.
Doing great.
Yes. But much to our chagrin, the district attorney race didn't go quite how we needed it to go. And, quite frankly, it didn't go how you needed to go either.
It didn't go how the city needed it to go.
Yeah.
But it did go the way that the moneyed interest wanted it to go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just get another progressive prosecutor out of here.
Property owners for Portland.
Right.
So Nathan Vasquez took out Mike Schmidt 54% to 46% of the vote.
Yeesh.
And these are numbers from, I'm sure there's going to be some updates to these numbers this morning. These are numbers from yesterday when we wrote the news. And man, Mike did a concession speech at the party. I haven't heard it. He's a really positive dude, see the silver lining and everything. So I'm sure there's going to be some, words about him continuing to work. But man, I did not feel that. Did not.
It's feeling, anybody feeling the Renee vibes? Huh? Anybody out there? Just me?
Just you? Yeah.
Just me feeling like we just, different level of Renee unlocked.
Right. Yeah. And in the House, 3rd District, we had Maxine Dexter up against Sushila Jayapal and Eddie Morales and Michael Jonas, a couple other people. And this was pretty lopsided.
I think they call it a runaway.
Yeah. Pretty close. And I'm curious. So the way I for those who don't know, who didn't know like myself, you got to secure 50% of the vote in order to avoid a runoff.
Right.
And at the time that we got these numbers yesterday, it was Maxine had 48%. So it's quite possible once all the votes are counted that there will be no runoff. I'm curious to see. But yes, she secured 48% of the vote. Sushila Jayapal 32% and Eddie Morales 13%. And we recently came across some information about where all this money came from.
Do you mean Project 314?
I do. The Republican donors, the MAGA donors that Went through Project 314.
And APAC.
There it is.
I think that's the biggest one.
It's the APAC.
APAC doing big money through a pack about trusting and believing in science.
Morgan, why would APAC support a Democrat?
Oh, well, because they support all the Democrats. Yeah. I mean, standard issue alliance there. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but we have a president who's a Democrat right now, and we are, I believe you would say, full-throatedly supporting
a genocide.
A genocide.
Yeah, that's true.
And APAC is definitely the arm, to keep that support going, to keep that alliance strong, to it's definitely part of the reason there are so many Democratic candidates in the pocket.
Yeah.
Who are not finding the words to say ceasefire, like they can't figure out how to say
can't properly phrase it.
Figure out
permanent ceasefire, temporary ceasefire,
never
pausing,
ceasefire. They don't, always stand right to. Defend.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, right to defend. We don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of Democratic politicians that have taken a lot of APAC money.
Yeah.
Now, when Maxine Dexter was asked about taking the money, she was just kind of like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Like,
right. Be for real, guys.
I will definitely disclose the things that you have to disclose. And like, I really don't know what the problem is.
Yeah. Be for real, guys. Everyone takes money, right?
And there's also the lovely racism of don't need two Jayapals in the Senate, in Congress, which was like, wow, guys, pretty amazing from the people who wanted nothing but the same lineage to be doing all the things. I see you
positioning my mic because Brooke is in with the hottest of the goss.
Hit us. What?
Okay.
Good morning, Brooke.
Renee was at the Vasquez election night party,
of course,
along with Jesse Burke and Vadim. Just letting us know what kind of stuff they're into. Hating poor people.
I mean, wow. What a clique of mean girls.
Thank you, Brooke.
Oh.
Hey, good morning.
Renee, Nathan, Jesse, and Vadim. Just the plastics. Okay.
And someone else texts, I absolutely agree. Bingo, APAC at it again. And they says a lot about Portland that this news story was out there before the election.
Yes.
And she got that much of the vote.
Yes.
It does say a lot.
It says so much. Yeah. It definitely makes me go, oh, this is
where we live.
Yeah. Because so many folks, if you'll remember, Ambush, during any of the candidate things that we have done, forums that we have done, and community members have been like, hey, what's your stance on a ceasefire? And other community members are like, who cares?
Literally that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who cares about the
maybe the person asking cares. So
number one, maybe that person, right? Yeah. But then also maybe all those dead people.
Maybe.
I do wonder why you don't mind your tax dollars if you're going to complain to me about anything locally and how we need to keep our eye on that prize. One would think that maybe you would care
about where your
the tax dollars that go there from our local government going away from us, taking away the ability to take care of our own folk in order to kill brown people.
Yep.
Maybe you would care.
Yep.
But that makes sense because there was a lot of that. And you see a lot of that online of people being like, and asking about ceasefire.
Clicking up, man. Thank you for that, Brooke. And to your point of
messing with their click.
And to your point of an indication of just where we actually live. Do you remember the name Mark Shaw at all? Mark Shaw. Does it kind of ring a bell? I'm seeing a twinkle behind the eyes.
Yeah.
Mark Shaw. Shout out to Nebraska. We really miss you
so much.
We used to be over in the other studio in Nebraska, be over here
handling the scandal.
And when we were over there in some of our final days, we talked about Mark Shaw a lot because he just kept popping up in our local news because he was so blatant with his racism. Stuff putting racist posts on Facebook, on a personal blog, on anywhere he could. Right?
Okay.
Clackamas County Commissioner, position 4. Mark ran 37.5% of the vote. Melissa Fireside, 36.2% of the vote. And Tina Irvine, 18.5%. So there will be a runoff. But again, the fact that Mark even had a chance, it just says so much about how progressive we are here.
What do you mean?
Racism. What's that got to do? What's his post got to do with how he,
You know what's amazing, Ambush? Oh boy. Yes, okay.
You started to come back there?
Yes. And if I could just, okay. I should have got this together already, but the headline from Coin 6. Commissioner who made controversial comments leads Clackamas County razor by thin margin. Razor thin margin.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Controversial?
We shouldn't even be hearing his name. They asked him to resign, I think a year or two ago.
There is a recall markshoal.com.
This is what I'm saying. This is where we live, guys.
Anti-Muslim comments, anti-immigrant comments, other marginalized groups. BLM is not about Black Lives Mattering or any other life mattering. BLM is a pawn for the rise of neo-Marxism.
Did you know that?
I do now.
Thanks to Mark.
If a mentally ill dude pretends to be a woman, you are required to pretend with him.
Ooh, yeah.
People who say there is no such thing as gender are demanding a female president.
Yes.
My white privilege is to go to work and pay taxes so I can be insulted by people who don't work.
These are the quotables of quotables from that old Mark Shaw. Right. That's what's happening here. That's what's happening.
I have an illegal alien who lives next door to me. The other day he said to me, I'm a better man than you. And I said, I never said you bloody weren't. But what makes you think you're a better man than me? He said, I don't have a friggin' illegal alien living next door to me.
Man, that was terrible.
What do Barack Obama and Kate Brown call illegal aliens?
What?
Undocumented Democrats. But okay, so these are not even likely the worst or anything, but no. This is
greatest hits.
Oh my God, this is amazing though. Shout out to whoever put this site together of just like documenting by date and year.
Mm-hmm. They're on it.
When you interact with a Muslim, you're being deceived. Period. End of sentence. July 30th, 2019. Obama is a Muslim. October 13th, 2019.
There you are being deceived. Yeah.
Their Muslims' intent is takeover. Why is America complacent? Is it due to ignorance or cowardice or delusion? January 6th, 2020. What happened that day?
A little insurrection? Yeah. Another runoff I'm concerned about. Multnomah Multnomah County Commissioner District 1 between Megan Moyer and Vadim. Megan Moyer is at 47% and Vadim's at 40%. Again, hopefully, these numbers being from yesterday, we get some more votes coming in.
You should have got up 10 minutes earlier to check these numbers. Sorry, guys.
50. Multnomah County Commissioner District 2. And this race was Shannon Singleton, Sam Adams, and Jesse Burke. And Shannon Singleton at 46%, Sam Adams at 24%, Jesse at 23%. This is the direction I like to see things going in. And again, as of yesterday, it was a runoff. So
if anybody's like, what's the matter with Jesse Burke? What's your problem there? We are not here for anybody who actively hates poor people.
Yeah.
We are not here for anybody who actively runs on hating poor people.
Yep.
I don't care if you put a dress on it or a tuxedo. You hate poor people, you do not get a vote.
Nope.
Not from over here.
Nope. Good morning, Harper.
Harper.
Good morning, Fiancé.
Good morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still on old boy's
it's still
situation over here. This is just beautifully put together.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. We read a bunch off of there before.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's starting to look familiar to you.
Oh, no. Yeah, it definitely does. Mm-hmm. And I want to know how this person even, like, if you would have been fired from IBM or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for like
easily
3 of these things.
Easily.
But you on Facebook, which is the place for this.
Yeah, for sure. That's where you can farm the worst of
I don't even understand I honestly do not understand Islamophobia. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it, but I don't know how you can like convince yourself of the things that people convince themselves of.
I am curious as to how prevalent it was before 9/11 because it seemed like
not
afterwards it became like, you know, as American as apple pie.
Yeah.
It was just a thing to do. Are you Islamophobic? I mean, how could you be American if you're not?
Like,
what side are you on, buddy?
Did you not know 9/11 happened?
Yeah. Where you been?
I did just want to clarify. I know that the insurrection was 2021, not 2020.
Right, but
January 6th is always going to be that, you know.
For sure.
Whoa, what happened that day?
For sure. I do want to cover a couple more before we switch.
Oh my gosh, the time is flying.
Mm-hmm.
Fiancés.
So for the president, for Republicans, 92% came in for Donald Trump.
They don't have anyone else to vote for.
Right. But 8% write-ins. And I'm curious.
I wonder who they wrote in.
Exactly. Because
Rudy Giuliani.
On the on the Democratic side, 87%.
Joe Byron. Joseph, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on it. Joseph Robinette Byron.
Yes. Marianne Williamson, 7%.
Well, she's on the ballot.
And the write-ins, which I hope were uncommitted.
Kanye
6%.
West. Oh. Did y'all write in Kanye West?
6%. That's 21,000 people. 21,921 people wrote in whatever.
Did anybody write uncommitted? I voted uncommitted for one Joseph Robinette Byron.
Sames.
Okay. P-Town, please continue to be you. There are a lot of texts from you that we cannot read, and you know that, but know that we love them.
Nice.
Nice. And that
last one is a zinger.
Yeah, I wish that I could read that out loud. Wowie, wow. But yeah, what in the world are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? How is the reactionary stuff still working? How is it working so well? How is it working in the time of, I can't say war, you know, it's not a war.
Certainly not a war. Certainly not a war.
I mean, do they feel like they're winning? This is so awful.
Yeah. I'm going to hit that Lyft driver story real quick.
Okay.
Let's Let's see. I believe it's right around here. Yes. Just a refresher, Atlanta police officer kills his Lyft driver without provocation. In Atlanta, a police officer has been arrested after fatally shooting a Lyft driver in Union City. The shooting occurred last Wednesday morning, and the details are both shocking and tragic. Kobe Minor, an officer hired by Atlanta Police Department in July 2018, was taken into custody after the incident and has since resigned from his position. Now, it's important that we mention that, because if you Google this and take a look at the reporting around it, they frame it as he was an ex-cop when this happened.
A former officer.
Former officer, as if he was not an officer when this happened, and he absolutely was.
And just to that point, that is a piece of propaganda that has been used since forever and a day. Resign, no longer, fired, whatever. A former officer.
No.
So, much like a lone wolf.
Right.
Someone we don't even have to think about anymore. We don't have to say anything.
Himself.
We don't even have to apologize for him.
It's not one of us. We cleaned up already. He's former.
Sorry.
Not true. Not at all true. He's now facing serious charges, including murder and aggravated assault. According to the records, Minor is currently being held at Fulton County Jail. The shooting took place around 12:30 a.m. on South Fulton Parkway near Stonewall Tell Road. The victim has been identified as 35-year-old Reginald Folks. Arrest warrants reveal that after the shooting, Minor crawled out of the vehicle through the window, a detail that has left many in disbelief. A spokesperson for law enforcement said this is a heartbreaking situation for everyone involved. At the time of his arrest, Minor was already on unpaid administrative leave. This followed an earlier arrest on December 25th in Milton, where he faced charges for possession of an uncontrolled substance and drugs not in their original container. Reports from that incident indicate that Minor was involved in a single vehicle crash while impaired.
What?
And authorities found 20 Xanax pills in his possession. His department-issued firearm was confiscated.
20 what? Xannies?
Mm-hmm. His department-issued firearm was confiscated during the arrest and had remained in police custody. According to Minor's account of the events, on Wednesday, he was leaving the home of another Atlanta police officer and had called for a lift. During the ride, Minor claims that Folks, the Lyft driver, began speaking on the phone in a different language. Minor told the police that he heard what he believed to be another voice in his ear, but could not understand what was being said. Minor asked Folks to stop the car, but according to arrest warrant, the driver did not comply. As they approached the red light, Minor said he tried to open his door but was unable to. Then he claimed that Folks turned around and reached towards the back seat, prompting Minor to pull out his firearm and shoot the driver approximately 3 times. Minor then broke the car's window and exited the vehicle. A nearby driver witnessed Minor waving for help and stopped to assist. The witness reported that Minor alleged Folks was part of a gay fraternity attempting to recruit him and that Minor feared he was being kidnapped.
I'm
In response to this tragic event, a Lyft spokesperson issued a statement to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, stating that the company has permanently banned Minor's account from their platform. Our hearts are with Mr. Folks' loved ones as they confront this unspeakable tragedy, and we've reached out to offer our support during this difficult time, the spokesperson added. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He feared he was being kidnapped.
He was hearing voices. Said the Lyft driver spoke another language, switched languages on him. Feared he was being kidnapped.
To demon? Was that the language?
Yeah.
With exorcism sounds?
Because I don't know if you guys know this, in Atlanta, gay fraternal kidnappings are on the rise. So him being in law enforcement, he's gonna know, guys. He's going to know.
He's got his finger on the pulse.
He's got his finger
and the trigger
on the pulse. Yes.
I don't mean to make jokes of this.
Of course
This
not.
is just absolutely
It's called poppycock.
Okay.
Yeah. Boulder Dash. Thomas Foolery.
Thomas Foolery.
Yeah,
this is of the highest order.
Yeah. That's what it is.
I want to be clear that not making light of what happened there, but certainly cannot stop laughing at what people say. Like this, what? Were you hearing voices because you had too many Xannies?
Right.
Like you didn't have anything to do with that? No?
I mean, talk to me about it. Please.
I just, have, I guess, been lucky enough to, even in my worst rideshare experience, have never felt like I was being kidnapped. I never felt like the languages got switched and it didn't make sense that the languages got shifted,
Right.
Like, there are plenty of drivers that are multilingual and will get a phone call or be on the phone. I do love it when they're on the phone. Because listen, now I get to play my music in my headphone, or
it's my fave.
Crush a candy or two.
Absolute fave.
Do a Wordle.
Yeah.
Don't have to, yep, I am from here, and don't have to small talk it.
Right.
But don't get me wrong, I do enjoy speaking to a
Lyft driver.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by a person
Lyft
who,
and not Uber.
Yeah, I don't even have. Yeah, exactly. Not that any of them are okay. All of these companies, I would love to see something like a municipal rideshare.
Ooh.
I am absolutely tired of every single one of these companies becoming billionaires off the back of people not paying them and then expecting everybody who uses the service to not only pay for every part of the service, but also pay the workers in tips because you refuse to pay them.
Right.
That goes for every single thing that became a thing during the panini. We all deserve to be making a living wage. We all deserve to be able to pay our rent when you work. Especially these grueling jobs that are sold to you as a side gig, or that, a side gig that you'd be able to make thousands of dollars on your side gig. And then you find out, nope, psych, just kidding. Really, we did allow you to make enough money to make you think it was worth buying a new car and going into debt for it.
Man.
But actually, psych.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't want to have to use any of these things. I don't want to have to pay any of these companies. I think they're absolutely disgusting. And just being a part of it, just doing it, is how they get to continue to be around.
Absolutely.
But things like this, I'm sorry. Uber or Lyft was like, we banned his account. Bam! Thanks. Cool.
I don't
Neat.
think he'll be using
Seems like
it.
the very least you could possibly do.
Yeah.
But,
where he's going to be, I don't think he'll be using it, so.
I mean.
Bruh.
The kind of stuff that Lyft and Uber do, I can't remember the story, so I'm not going to, spread misinformation right now, but it was a really traumatic, driver tried to assault or harm a rider, and after fighting their way out, they reach out to the company, and the company's like, well, let's give you a $15.
That's always what kills me, the little $15.
I'm going to give you this $15 gift card. Oh, I remember what it is now. It was DoorDash, and it was a driver dropped the food off and then came back and did some real pervy things outside of the door.
And someone's door cam from across
Popped
the hall.
them.
Yeah.
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 And DoorDash was like, whoa, we totes fired that guy. Also 2+, and here's $15. Enjoy a milkshake on us.
Right. Bruh. Nasty work. Nasty work.
Says, was the driver also dressed as a clown?
I am going to hop into music break, double check and see what's going on with our guests. I think there was an issue with the call-in number.
The phone.
So
we're working on it.
We're working on it, y'all. We're going to have to do a quick music break.
BRB.
Apologies. We were supposed to have an interview with Jason Lamb about the grand finale of Minority Retort this Friday at the Siren. I believe there might have been an issue with the number that I gave them, or a miscommunication there. There's people's. I apologize for that greatly. The show, again, is this Friday.
As in tomorrow.
As in tomorrow at the Siren.
As in May 24th.
That is correct. The grand finale. We hope to see a bunch of you guys there.
We'll
like
get
I said,
the full info on the Insta.
Yeah. Like I said, myself and DJ Cliff, No Request DJs, will be there holding it down throughout the evening. So, yeah. Shout out to everyone that has been texting us, though. It got heavy in here. Shout out to Brooke for sharing a little information here. So there's a screenshot from APAC. Oh, there's a couple screenshots from APAC's Twitter account. APAC congratulates Dr. Maxine.
Oh, yeah.
On her Democratic Party win.
Yeah.
APAC members are proud to support Maxine Dexter in her race against an anti-Israel opponent.
Ooh.
Endorsed by Bernie Sanders.
Ooh.
AOC. And jsstreet.org. I'm not sure who that is. Being pro-Israel is good policy and good politics. Okay. So there we are, Maxine. And asked and answered by someone else. And then also, APAC is proud to stand with pro-Israel progressive leaders who help strengthen and expand the U.S.-Israel relationship. Congratulations to APAC endorsed Representative Bonamici on your primary election victory.
I would like to step in really quickly, Ambush, and let you know that there is no such thing as a pro-Israel progressive.
No.
And there certainly is no such thing of that whilst in the middle of, in the, day 200 plus.
Right.
Of literally unfettered, relentless murder. Relentless, unyielding. Unyielding. There's no such thing as a progressive, a pro-Israel progressive. Why would you be a pro-government? What are you talking about? You don't know what the words mean? You are expecting other people to not know what the words mean?
Certainly. You
are weighing heavily on the fact that just a mishmash. It's just, people say what neo-Marxism. Just throw it out. They don't even know what that means. They don't know what Marxism means. To use the word progressive when it comes to relationships with a apartheid state. Be for real for once. For once. Be for real for once. Like, all I'm about to start doing is screaming, because in what world we have spent so much time dealing with and living with the idea that if you say X, that means you are Y. And it only gets applied when it isn't real. And by that, I mean saying somebody is anti-Semitic if they say they are not pro-Israel.
Right.
Which is supposed to be a place, right? That's supposed to be a place. That's not supposed to be the religion or the people, because if you are in Israel, you do not have to be Israeli, right? That's how that's supposed to go, unless it's an ethno state.
Right.
Unless you're doing apartheid. There's nothing progressive about that. And pay attention to who APAC is dumping money into.
Jeez.
It is amazing to me that they will dump money into making sure that actual progressive candidates do not move forward, and then call the person they elected, and by they, I mean paid for them to be elected, call them progressive. Well, what did you beat the progressive for? If that's what you wanted to happen.
So that's all it takes to get in bed with AIPAC is be a Zionist?
Certainly. I mean, that's, yeah.
Someone definitely We got a couple people that confirmed they definitely were uncommitted.
Yay!
The person that text says a lot about Portland, that the news story was out there before the election, and
still here we are.
They came back and said Bonamici is the biggest Zionist out there.
No, that is Joe Byron. Okay. Are they neck and neck?
Wow. Did not know that about
Old
Bonamici.
Neck and neck?
Did not. Met Bonamici several times. Did not know that. That wasn't the issue of the moment, so I guess I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, no reason for you to... Was there an Israel lapel pen?
There was not. We were kicking it in the numbers, you know?
Oh, boy.
And she was very impressed by my Funko Pop collection and purchased some goods.
Who isn't, honestly?
It's a good collection.
A solid collection.
Purchased some goods from the bodega, took a tour of the Wall Street Gallery.
It is wild to me that the people that pretend to care the most, which we know, and I do mean pretend, pay absolutely zero attention, do not care that there's this big money coming in, don't care why the big money's coming in, don't have any questions, don't have any questions on why AIPAC would be trying to get rid of X, Y, or Z. No, nothing. Just, it sucks. American politics, you gotta have money, so it's gotta come from somewhere. And the real story is they had a bunch of wins. They had a bunch of wins around the country. If the mission is the same, if we're aligning as, which we're not, but them spending over $2 million against Jamal Bowman, pretty interesting.
That's a lot of money. The way they're getting involved with these...
Well, and they've been involved. This is the thing. They have been involved, Ambush. They have been there. This money has been happening for quite some time. People looked at AIPAC for what AIPAC wants them to believe they are. And that isn't just like pro-Israel. It has always been sort of like this, Jewish alliance is the way that it was. If you are aligned with AIPAC, then you are clearly an ally of Jewish people.
Right.
And there are so many Jewish people who are like, absolutely not. Do you know how terrible AIPAC is?
Right.
Do not be fooled.
The text came and said, I've written her, Bonamici, many times and get that Israel is our biggest ally and we need to support them letter back from her every time.
Cut and paste.
That's horrible.
Our biggest ally in what?
Right.
Because I don't feel like that gets expanded on much. Biggest ally in what?
Right. Exactly.
Israel is our foothold in the Middle East.
Let's just call it what it is. Flat out.
They are that's where we're at. That is the relationship. The relationship is we don't want to have to set up bases everywhere. But what we definitely can't have is a non-Western presence in the Middle East. We need a Western presence.
Yeah, man.
So explain it to us like we're five. Biggest ally in what?
What are we doing? Brooke said, y'all are the best. Missed you last week. F Israel and Joe Byron and all those that had their seats bought by AIPAC.
Brooke, we missed you so much. Big love.
She said, biggest ally in what? Genocide.
Asked and answered.
Yes, Brooke, you are 100% correct.
No, explain it. Explain it.
Man.
Because I'm real tired of that line. I'm tired of that line. I'm tired of Israel has the right to defend itself, but don't nobody else. We can commit all the war crimes because war crimes happen during war.
Right.
We'll deal with that fallout later. For real? Like we should be nowhere near running our lives like normal. This is the pull the president out of his house type stuff.
Yep.
We will not take it.
Yep.
And not that we didn't have reason to do that previously. This is just the stack up is too much, fam. The stack ups are way too much.
Yeah. Way too much. Way too much. But you know what, guys? It's about that time. I want to thank you so much for tuning into another episode of News with My Fiancé. Brought to you by Morgan Jones and myself, DJ Ambush, and our illustrious podcast editor, Kyle G. I want to thank you guys for all the texts. They're still coming in. We're going to make sure, well, Kyle's going to make sure I'm not going to we anything.
Yeah,
Kyle's
don't do that.
on it. Make sure we get all that stuff in the details. I am updating the playlist as we speak. And you know how we do. Don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. Power to the people. None of us are free until we are all free. Thank you so much for listening.
We missed y'all. Bye.